In this video, we're going to walk through how to create and customize pivot tables in Excel. From selecting your data to rearranging fields for different perspectives. Let's get started. Here we have a simple dataset with 6 columns: order number, item, salesperson, amount, region, and date. This is the kind of structured data pivot tables work best with. Select your entire dataset, then go to the Insert tab and click Pivot Table. Choose to place the pivot table in a new worksheet and click OK. Now let's build our first table. Drag item to the rows area and salesperson to the columns area. Now let's focus on the values area of the pivot table. This is where you choose what kind of calculation you want Excel to perform on your data, like summing, counting, or averaging. We're dragging amount here because we want to sum the sales values. Excel automatically recognizes this as a numeric field and uses sum as the default. What if we're more interested in how many sales occurred, not their value? Try dragging item into the values field instead. Because item is text, Excel doesn't try to sum it, it automatically uses count. This gives you the number of orders rather than their total value. Want to break this down by region? There are a few ways. You can drag region to the filters area to choose a region at a time. Or better yet, drag region into the columns area, below salesperson, to split each salesperson's totals by region. Let's say you want to analyze the data differently. We can move region into the rows area and move item into the columns area. This gives us a view of what items are being sold in each region, and by whom. With pivot tables, you can easily drag and drop fields to reshape your analysis. Pivot tables are incredibly powerful for slicing and dicing data. Experiment with rearranging fields to uncover different insights. You can also sort, filter, and apply slices for even more interactivity. Now let's turn our pivot table into a visual summary by creating a pivot chart. With your pivot table selected, go to the Pivot Table Analyze tab and click Pivot Chart. Choose a chart type, like clustered column, stacked bar, or line chart, depending on how you want to present your data. The great thing about pivot charts is that they are linked directly to the pivot table. So anytime you rearrange the fields or filter the data, the chart updates automatically to reflect those changes. If you want to create multiple versions of charts, maybe one showing totals by region, and another by salesperson, you don't need to start from scratch. Just duplicate the worksheet by right-clicking the Sheet tab, choosing Move or Copy, and checking Create a Copy. This gives you a complete duplicate of your pivot table and chart, which you can then rearrange independently. Now you can modify the pivot table layout on the copied sheet, and the new chart will update with that view, without changing your original. In this next example, we're working with data on UK sports funding from 2009 to 2022. A much larger data set with over 39,000 rows of data. It includes columns like financial year, award amount, program name, region, and main sport. This time we'll focus on breaking down our data using dates. Start by selecting the entire data set. Go to the Insert tab and choose Pivot Table. We'll place it in a new worksheet like before, to keep things clean. To analyze funding over time, first drag award date into the rows area. Then, drag award amount into the values area. Assuming all your dates are correctly formatted in the original dataset. When you drag the date field into rows, it will group the field by years, quarters, months, and a date. If the field doesn't automatically break down into these groupings, check your dates in the original dataset to make sure they are functioning as dates in number formatting, and are not set to text or number. Sometimes the date grouping adds quarters or other levels you don't need. To clean this up, drag the grouped field out of rows to remove it, leaving only the levels you want, like years and months. Now let's structure the table to be more readable. Try dragging region into the columns area. And program name below award date in rows. You'll see how the layout updates, nesting program name inside each month. You can move these fields above or below one another in the list to reorder how the rows appear. For example, dragging program name above award date reverses the hierarchy. Now you see each program, broken down by date. To focus on specific sports, drag main sport into the filters area. Now you can filter the table to show data for a single sport, like athletics, or compare two sports by selecting them together. This is great for preparing focused reports or charts. Once your table is structured how you want, go to the Pivot Table Analyze tab and choose Pivot Chart. A line chart works well for tracking funding trends over time. If you filtered for one or two sports earlier, your chart will reflect just those. To create multiple chart views, you can duplicate the worksheet and change the filter or layout in each one, perfect for building reports or presentations. Using grouping, filters, and layout adjustments, pivot tables make it easy to analyze large datasets like sports funding, by time, region, or sport. Pair it with a pivot chart, and you've got a dynamic way to communicate your findings. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out our other Excel tutorials. Be sure to check out the videos on number formatting and tables, as they may help you understand more about pivot tables. Follow the thumbnails on screen now.